Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by Titan FC Featherweight, Desmond Green. Desmond, how are you?
I'm doing good, Mike, and yourself?
I'm doing good. Des, you got a fight coming up October 31st at Titan FC 31. How's training been going for the fight?
Man, training's been going excellent. Training, I have to say, has definitely been the X factor for this camp here. I'm training up here in Montreal with TriStar, and I've been getting some good work and some good privates. Been going 3 days on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 days on Tuesday, Thursday, and then again on Saturday. So I'm definitely getting my fair share of work in up here.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this a permanent move to TriStar, or is it just for this camp?
I think it's going to be a permanent move. First, I was coming up here to see how I liked it about a month and a half ago. I fell in love with the coaching staff and the teammates up here. So, I think I was talking to Faraz. I think I'm going to make this my permanent move for camp.
I see.
It's about 5 hours from home also, so it's not about 5 hours from Rochester, so it's nice. I got kids, my son back there, and my daughter lives in the Bronx, so close to New York.
Right. Now, going forward, I know you said that it looks like it's going to be a permanent move, training at TriStar, but living-wise, will you actually move to Montreal, or will you just do your camps in Montreal? Because I know a lot of fighters do their camp one place but live in another. So will you actually move to Montreal?
No. So as of right now, I'm doing my camps here, and then after a couple fights, I'm probably gonna make that move up here. At least come up here often. I really shout out to Bomb Squad. They took me a long way, but it's really, this is where I need to be doing all my training at. So, I'll probably eventually move up here, but in the meantime, I'll be coming up here for camps, and, even outside of camps, I'll be coming up here until I could, get a little more money and possibly see, about moving up here.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did the training at TriStar all come together? How did you decide to go up there? How did that all come together?
Well, Jeff reached out to me, and he asked me if I wanted to fight for Titan, and, about a week after I got released from Bellator, and really all the credit goes to Jeff. I mean, he's the man. He's he's a stand-up guy. He actually reached out. We had like a conversation. I told him I didn't have any management, and I was looking at a new gym to train at, and he recommended TriStar. He recommended me to come up here and check it out. And I did, and then, he's going to hook me up with Faraz, and then he also hooked me up with Alchemist, who's now actually managing me. So, big shout out to Jeff. He put that together, and it's just everything's been going good ever since.
Oh, I see. I thought it was the other way around. I thought you started training at TriStar, and it was Faraz, because obviously he's a commentator for Titan. I thought he was the guy who got you in with Titan, so it's interesting it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah, it's crazy. And I was like, man, this guy, he's doing all this for me. I was like, how convenient, and everything just happened at the right time.
I see. Now, your opponent, Miguel Torres, he used to train at TriStar. He used to be up there with those guys. I don't know where he trains now. Some people say he's with Black Zane. Some people say he's back at his gym in Indiana. But at one point in time, he trained at TriStar. How much info have you been able to get from those guys about him since he used to train there?
They haven't given me any info. I don't know. A couple friends up here, and he still does. And, Faraz told me when I first took the fight, he's like, he did used to train here. Okay. He's my friend, so I'm not gonna give you any information on how to beat him. I'll train you, just regular training and whatnot. And, I respected it, and I wouldn't want it, neither did I ask. I told him, I wouldn't want to know any inside information, you know what I mean? If I was somewhere training, I moved gyms, I would hope that they would keep my secrets, So, I respect that. And like I said, know what I want to, I want to go out there and fight him, just with the same knowledge he has. And, he has 40-plus fights, so it's more than enough for me to go look on his video and catch his tendencies there,
I see. You're fighting Miguel Torres in the co-main event of Titan FC 31, and Mike Ricci is fighting Yoshiyuki Yoshida in the main event for the vacant Titan FC lightweight championship. Now, training-wise, how has this all worked with you guys preparing to fight on the same card? How involved has he been in your camp, and how involved have you been in his camp in preparation for this fight? How's training worked?
Yeah, me and Richie's been working out a lot together, though. Since I've come up here, he's been doing, he's kind of like taking me in, showing me the ropes, tightening my stand-up, helping me here and there. I've definitely been noticing me getting better just from going with guys like him, Brookins, Rick Hahn was up here right before his fight. We were training together, so I'm getting a lot of good I'm getting exposed to a lot more training I never was exposed to show off on this fight.
Now, obviously, you went to TriStar because they have great coaching and a great practice room, but what's the best part about training there? Is it the coaching, or is it the training partners that you have there?
It's a little bit of both. It's hard to decide because, when you look at the coaching, I got John Chainberg as my strength and conditioning coach, who's like great in the game. And, I got Crew Ash as my stand-up coach, and then Faraz is just like, the all-around coach. So, that's just a great combination. They've trained champions. But then, in the room with, UFC guys, like Cajun, Lepre, Will Romero, he's a good partner for me. It's just like, you got guys like we had Rick Hahn come in, Zach McCoskey was just saying, so it's just like a little bit of both, 50% here, 50% there. I think the combination of the coaches and the partners is what really makes the difference here.
I see. Now, when you were released from Bellator and you signed with Titan, a lot of people thought that maybe in your debut for Titan you'd fight Shambalat Shambalayev, who used to fight for Bellator and signed with Titan when you did, and he also fights in the same weight class that you do, so a lot of people thought that would be the fight to make. But all of a sudden, you're offered Miguel Torres, a guy who spent a majority of his career at bantamweight. When you got the offer for Torres, were you surprised that he was the guy they offered you?
Yeah, I was. I was more surprised that he wanted to take the fight. I know he is, he used to be considered pound for pound the best in the world, but, like you see, that was at 35. I am, a big, strong 45-pounder, and, it was kind of short notice. Not short, but, I found out I was fighting him within a month. So, originally, like you said, I thought I was going to fight Shy or maybe somebody else, but, when they brought that name up, all I thought about was this opportunity. I was like, yes, this is a perfect opportunity to, climb up there in the rankings.
Mm-hmm. Overall, what are your thoughts about Torres as an opponent?
As an opponent, I think he's good. He's got he's well-rounded overall. He's had those tough battles. He used to be a former world champ. But I don't think he has what it takes to beat me. I definitely think I'm going to go out there and dominate, if not finish him. With this training I've got now, it's definitely escalated my level. People think I was good before, and now it's just a lot of athleticism. Now I'm actually learning technique. I'm actually becoming a student of the game and getting some professional training in.
How much do you think Miguel Torres knows about you?
Not enough. I think a lot of fighters, like right now I'm getting overlooked by a lot of fighters just because I fought a lot quick and, I kind of climbed the rankings quick. So, a lot of, he's just a strong wrestler, and that's definitely not all I am. I'm coming well-rounded. So I definitely, I hope he did his homework, but I don't think, I got a feeling that he doesn't think too highly of me. So, I definitely want to go out there and prove him wrong.
And what do you think his camp is telling him to do against you in this fight?
Geez, I don't know. That's a good question. I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. Maybe they're telling me to go out there and submit me. That's about it, since that's his strongest game is off of his back and whatnot.
Oh, I see.
I think they know he's not going to take me down, and I think that they know he's not quicker or stronger than me, so he might not want to stay standing. And I think they think I'm going to take him down, which I probably will, but that's not all I do. But they're probably telling him look for some submissions.
Des, obviously it's in the past and you've moved on and you have this great deal with Titan FC, but we got to touch on it a little bit. What exactly happened with Bellator? Because you had a great run with Bellator, you had a winning record, you were 3-2 under their banner, you were one fight away from fighting for a world title, then Scott Coker takes over the organization, and then a report comes out, it says you've been released along with a bunch of other fighters. I was completely shocked. I couldn't believe it. So what exactly happened with Bellator?
I have no clue. The original contract was like to the end of 2016, and last I heard from after the tournament was that they were going to have me back on the new season, and then I got like an email saying that I was getting released. So I was just as shocked as the public. You know, it happened to be a blessing in disguise, though, because the ultimate goal is always to get to the UFC, and through Bellator it would have been a lot harder than I think it's going to be now.
Mm-hmm. Des, how much media have you been doing in the build-up for this fight? Because it seems like you're everywhere. It seems like every day I go on the internet and I find another interview that you've done. So leading up to this fight, how much media have you been doing?
Yeah, I've done a lot. Since it's a blessing and a curse. Like when I was a brother, I was young. I didn't have any manager. I didn't have any, PRs or anything. And then, I got hooked up with Alchemist through Jeff, and my PRs, Brian Levick. He's just like been the man. He's been hooking me up with the best interviews. Making it easy for me. Finding out my schedule, and then he's like, all right, well, I get a text from him just about every other day, like, all right, how about, this time we have an interview set up for this, does this work for you? And then, I tell him, like, yeah, no. So, I've definitely been doing a lot more. I've been doing a lot of social media lately, things. Straight. And I think it's good watching this fight, and on, dominating this guy. It's going to, just help boost my career up.
Mm-hmm. Would you go as far as to say that you've done more media in the build-up for Titan FC 31 than you did in your entire run with Bellator?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Really? That's interesting. Why were you not doing a lot of media when you were with Bellator? Was it because of the tournament and the fights were happening so fast and it's week after week and you were just kind of getting lost in the shuffle? Because Bellator is considered the bigger organization than Titan, but you've been everywhere. So what was the reason why you weren't doing a lot of media with Bellator?
No, really what it was is I just didn't have anybody. Like I said, when I was with Bellator, I didn't really have any manager except for my manager was my trainer, who was Matt Lee. He was an old fighter,
right?
And he didn't really take all he did really. His main job was just to train me. So as far as PRs and getting out to the public, it was like I had to set it up or they reached me. And usually you have somebody take care of that for you, but I never did. So now that I got somebody to do that, I think I'm a little more accessible to the public.
Oh, I see. Now, since this fight against Miguel Torres is going to be taking place on Halloween, I thought I'd throw some Halloween questions at you. The first one is, what was your favorite costume? How old were you? And why were you that costume? Give us the rundown. Give us all the details on what your favorite costume is.
Well, we didn't really celebrate. My family don't really celebrate Halloween like that. But I do like Ninja Turtles. I do like the couple times I think I did dress up, which was only a couple. I think I was probably most likely it was probably a Ninja Turtles costume.
What's your favorite candy?
Definitely Starburst.
Starburst has a lot of different flavors. They have the original, they have Fave Reds, they have Tropical, they have Very Berry, they have a lot of different ones. So what's your favorite? Are you an original guy? Do you have a different flavor you like? What kind of Starburst?
Yeah, I like the original. I like the original ones, the original colors. They got like these tropical ones too. It's also pretty good. Well, like I said, we never really celebrated Halloween like that, so I can't even remember going trick or treating like that. We usually go to church on Halloween night.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough. Now, on Halloween night, when you're making your walkout, should we be expecting you to be walking out in a costume, or is that not your style?
It's not my style. I like to just go out there. Before the fights, I'm just so anxious to go out there and fight. I just, I don't like the theatrics. I like to just go out there, shake hands, and get after it. And after I'm fun and games, but before I like to get down to business.
Des, on Halloween night, how do you give Miguel Torres a trick, and how do you give the fans a treat? How do you defeat Miguel Torres on October 31st?
That pressure pressure, my man. Pressure is gonna be it's gonna be the difference in this fight. You know, just a lot of forward pressure. You know, and just domination. You know, using my strength to my advantage and taking away his strength.
Des, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
No sponsors yet. You know, those will be coming soon. So, you know, if anybody wants to sponsor me, reach out to Scott Cutbirth. But other than that, you know, I just want to shout out my hometown, Rochester. I got a big support there. You know, my mom, she's my biggest fan yet. And, you know, so shout out to Rochester. You know, I love it there. Hometown, city. And other than that, man, big shout out to everybody here at TriStar Gym. You know, that's helped me get ready for my camp so far.
Des, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck October 31st at Titan FC 31 against Miguel Torres.
All right, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.